All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And boy, did James Gunn come out yesterday and make a bombshell announcement, or it was early today. I don't remember which, but we're going to take a look at what he said. I'm not sure when the Superman trailer is going to hit because of this, because some weird things are going on, and I don't think there's quite frankly any excuse for what he is doing. But let's take a look at some of the photos. All right, so real quick, I wanted to revisit something I talked about 2 videos ago, where Matt Reeves came out and said that Bruce Wayne is going to blame himself for the events of the first film and will be finding it very hard to be Batman in the Batman Part 2. And it says the next chapter in the epic crime saga continues on October 2nd of 2026. Well, you know what I find funny about this is something else we're going to take a look at that I wanted to share, and I actually forgot to share. And it's something that somebody posted in regards to the Batman, and I'm going to talk about my thoughts on this. And here it is. This person, Peasy, said, nothing will ever beat seeing this scene in theaters for the first time. And it's when the Penguin was staring down the Batmobile in The Batman. And what entails right after this is, well, here are my thoughts. This is what I wrote on Twitter. I said, this was the most ridiculous thing in the film. Batman is staring him down in a car. So what does he do? He gets in a car and drives off so he can be chased. The stupidity. Now, they were on the docks. He could have run off down the docks. He could have gotten in a boat and rode through, the Gotham Harbor there. He could have done a number of things. But what did he decide to do? There's this crazy car staring me down, so what am I going to do? I am going to get in my car and drive off. Okay, there was a lot of stupidity in this film, and these are the things that kind of take me out of the storyline. And they only use this as an excuse to introduce the Batmobile. And we're going to talk about how this relates to that comment here in a second. But if you guys have not heard, and I'll say it again, this is how I describe the Batman. He was a slow-talking, slow-moving, bomb-in-the-face surviving, wingsuit death impact surviving, knock on the front door of the Iceberg Lounge Batman. None of those things say Batman to me. And a lot of people talk about how it's more grounded than the Nolanverse, and I would disagree with that. Because there was nothing ridiculous in the Nolanverse that took you out of the film that couldn't happen in real life. Whereas in the Batman, all of those things were ridiculous. Okay? Now, going back to the car here. So, Matt Reeves said, as I showed you in the previous grab that I had, that Batman is going to blame himself for the events of the Batman. Where were they after this scene of him chasing the Penguin and all the chaos that happened on the highway and all the explosions and the cars that crashed? And people got killed. They had to have. That's always been a problem with part of this film. Right after that scene, you have the Penguin, you have Gordon, you have Batman all there talking, and they don't even care about the carnage on the highway. They're not calling it in. They're not concerned about it at all. And I bet there was a ton of carnage on that highway. We all saw it. People definitely died. That doesn't bother him, but the other events do? Like, it's selective. These are the problems that I have when people write these movies. Are people not paying attention to fill these plot holes? Like, it's some crazy stuff. So this, to me, was the most ridiculous thing in the film. I think the scene is amazing, the car chase. I think it's well done. But the way it starts is through complete stupidity. That's not how that would work in real life. The Penguin would do something else other than drive off in his car to be chased. Like, how ridiculous is that? And then again, Batman doesn't seem to care about that stuff. Now, I thought this was pretty cool. This is from DC Film News. They're going to remember us, kid. The Penguin had a full season sweep at number 1 for 8 consecutive weeks in a row, which is pretty cool. It was obviously going to be ranked top 10 on Max. Probably not of everything on streaming. They're not going to share that. They're talking about specifically Max. But honestly, there's not a whole lot on Max worth watching. And this show was pretty awesome if you haven't seen it. Not the best superhero show I've ever seen. I still think I would put that on Daredevil, and I talked about that on Twitter a little bit last week. But this show was pretty well done. It was. Now, this set off a firestorm of gun cultists all over online the other day, and I even had a discussion. I started something with Slav, if you guys know who Slav is. But a Hollywood Reporter came out and said, with his two-part epic sci-fi saga Rebel Moon behind him, Zack Snyder is re-teaming with Netflix for a new feature project. This one, an action movie centered on the Los Angeles Police Department. Zack Snyder to direct, co-write LAPD action thriller for Netflix. Oh boy, did this set people off because of how horrible Rebel Moon did. And I cannot make this any clearer. Netflix has its own algorithm that they use that when they spend money on a project, they have to get X amount of views before they see it as a win. Rebel Moon was sold as one price for 4 films. That's how it was billed. X amount of dollars for 4 films. They made those streaming numbers back with the first 2 projects alone. So it didn't even matter what the director's cuts did. And honestly, they should have never gone with the PG-13 cuts to begin with. And so there's so much ignorance online with how numbers work and how these streaming things go. And people need to do their research first. And these individuals will not even admit when they were wrong. Rebel Moon was a success for Netflix. It just was. You cannot deny that. And that's based on Netflix's own chart on how they deem something a success. Doesn't matter if it reached the top 10 of everything that they've ever done. It has nothing to do with that. It's what a project has to do for it to be considered a success on Netflix. He's done numerous projects that have gone above that. You also have the I forget the name of it, the movie about the dead. That also did really well for Netflix. So it's not a surprise that they're reteaming with Zack Snyder to come back and do something for Netflix. And he's still doing the 300 series for Warner Brothers. So he's no longer under an exclusive contract, but yet they still want to work with him. That tells you something. And it doesn't matter what the gun cultists think and all those people who worship Gunn. It doesn't change what happened. Now, I thought this was pretty cool. This is the first look at the Batman Blue-Gray 6-inch scale figure based on the Batman Adventures animated series, launching for pre-orders on November 22nd at select retailers. So again, this is coming from McFarlane Toys. I don't know that I'll pick this one up because it wasn't true to the series, but that's still a pretty cool action figure right there. I like that one a lot. Somebody asked James Gunn, will the events of Creature Commandos have an impact on the events of Peacemaker and Lanterns? James Gunn simply said yes. Now, this is going to make me very curious watching these projects, if they can be standalone projects or if they are going to be uber connected, because he said everything can be seen as a standalone project, but also work within the bigger picture. We'll see if that holds true. And I still think it's ridiculous that knowing that all of these things are connected, that they don't think little kids are going to go watch Creature Commandos. It is a cartoon, and it is leading off the DCU, and we already know we've got characters from that cartoon that are going to be in the Superman film, and you don't think kids are going to want to check out everything that has to do with that? I think Warner Brothers is sending mixed messages, and it's not necessarily a good thing. So here you go. Here was the big news. James Gunn confirms he will not be attending CCXP 24. James Gunn himself said, sadly, no, I tried to work it out, but because of a million schedule conflicts, I won't be able to make it to CCXP this year in Brazil. And so he's not coming, guys. And this is where everybody expected the Superman trailer to premiere. And I highly doubt Gunn will not want to be there when they premiere his trailer for his film. Maybe they will still do it there. It's done. You know, I had people arguing on Twitter today that I don't know how films work and that Obviously, he can't go because he's working on so many projects. Well, he's supposed to be going to these events. These events are for people to showcase their stuff, and this will be the next big project. Like, he was okay doing it for Creature Commandos, but now all of a sudden he can't be there to help promote anything else, and this may lead, the trailer may not come out until January or even later. May not be till the Super Bowl, for all we know. The thing is, I don't know why they're so afraid to show something for Superman. James Gunn already confirmed the trailer is complete. He has a copy of it. Why they want to hide it from the public, it's very weird. And the fact that he's dodging all of the big events that people expected to see Warner Brothers at. There's also a chance they could send Peter Safran, but who knows? They're not being forthcoming with the plan here. And it's very weird and feels very disjointed with how they're doing this. Now, this is one of those things that I thought was pretty dang cool. It says Ben Affleck's company, Artists Equity, has a Batfleck statue in the office. This is amazing. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I would love to have that for my theater room. To have a life-size Batman statue like that is freaking awesome, and that's at Artists Equity. What's pretty cool about this is, a lot of people tend to think that, Ben Affleck looks at his time as Batman as a bad thing or a negative thing, and he certainly does not. He has a huge following, a massive following, and that there is the best live-action Batman suit that has ever been on film. And he is ripped directly from the comics. Like, that is freaking awesome. So, there you go. Ben Affleck still loves the Batman. I had to troll this person this morning. I don't know this guy from anybody, and you could tell he got pretty upset, and then all the gun cultists came out in droves to try and attack me. It was kind of funny. But this person said, I finished the full season of James Gunn's Creature Commandos. General thoughts from December 3rd, AEST. He's out in Australia, I believe. The DCU is here. Now, why is this individual able to see this early? I don't believe he did. Why would James Gunn give this Australian guy access to watch this, weeks before, almost 3 weeks before it is going to air on HBO or on Max? Why? That doesn't make any sense. It's just weird. And I said, no, you haven't. Because I don't believe that he's out there showing this to people just yet. And again, it's either that or these people are being paid by Warner Brothers to give stuff fake praise. Because I'm not expecting this to be very good. But I will review it and I will give you my honest opinions on it when it does get released. All right, so there you have it. I wanted to get another DC update for you guys today. And as more information does get released, I will be covering it and giving my thoughts on it. What did you guys think about the Batman, the scene with the Batmobile? I just think the logic of him caring about other events but not caring about all the carnage on the highway is just weird. It betrays the story. There are things that you could do in a film that pull you out of the movie. And I will tell you that the bomb in the face and the wingsuit impact that he had on the side of the highway before being slung across the road, those things would have killed somebody even in a suit. Both of those things would have. And those are the things that are outlandish and were way out there that pull you out of the realism of the film that they were trying to create. And so the logic behind all of this, to me, is just extremely flawed. I'm very nervous about all the projects coming from Warner Brothers at this stage because I think the greatness that we've had with Nolan and with Snyder, I think these things are gone forever. I really do at this stage. I don't think we're ever going to get that stuff back. I don't think Warner Brothers is smart enough to be putting projects out there that people are going to go and see in droves. I just don't think we're headed down that path. I would love to be proven wrong, but we will see here in the near future. All right, guys, that's the update for the day. We will see you on the next video.